Hey guys, Mike here from Lunch Money Comics. Today I'm at His and Her Comics in Greenfield, Massachusetts for their huge year-end sale. The prices are absolutely insane, so let's go inside and get a huge stack of comics. These are the dollars. Wow. So here are the prices for the sale. Almost everything in the store was heavily discounted based on their original sticker price, and as you can see, you could get some pretty amazing deals. Cool. As we're filming, it gets hard. It really just needs two hands.
Apprentice.
Yep.
Sidekick.
Right. He didn't want to come today.
No, I kind of make it into another age collecting.
Need two hands for some of these. Always good to have someone help out. Oh, this is maximum Carnage. A whole box of SpiderMan for $1 each. Pretty awesome.
Like, oh, I got a dozen Hulk ones. I don't really need that.
You know, first Xcalibur for $1.
There you go.
What does he mean? His face or his hands?
Either. I can use a little footage of both. That's fine. There you go. First,
Yep.
second Thunderbird, aka Warpath. Oh man, for Strong Guy.
Oh, I did see the first Legion that he had it propped up.
Oh, I saw that too. Hey, first Speedball.
Oh, that's a good one.
Nice.
I'm sorry. They're just creating D-roll for me.
That's fine.
I was going to give you a call in the new year, but this is,
Well, Happy New Year.
yeah, Happy New Year. We're early.
Look at, not only getting comic books, we're making friends here at His and Her Comics.
That's
Set in here.
I guess. That's Jeff was like, because I self-publish, I use
Midnight
Amazon.
Sun.
Kindle, and, I could use it.
Huge stack so far.
There are some dollar ones over there of DCs also, but these are probably the better ones. Thank you. Have a good one. first one was 8. The first one was 8. Yeah, I'm sorry. 8 is 250. As you can see that they were not in order.
Double check my stuff here.
There.
Which one?
That one he's holding.
Really?
Yeah. They had it at our public library. I can stand that.
Ring it. You want to ring it up twice? No, I mean two different. Good. Okay.
I don't know. I'm trying to see. No, the one next. That one you have your hand on too.
Okay guys, I got 2 huge bags of comic books at a ludicrously good price. Let's go home, I'll show you guys everything that I bought. So there you go. That was the huge year-end blowout sale at my favorite local comic book store, His and Her Comics in Greenfield, Massachusetts. Now, I've been to several other local comic book store year-end and holiday sales very recently. As a matter of fact, I've done several videos over the last couple of weeks. But of all the sales going on in the area, this is the one I was looking forward to the most. For a couple of reasons. One, it is my local comic book store. I'm there all the time. I love the owners. I get great deals. They already have great prices. But secondly, it's a relatively small place. So what they do is they have this big year-end sale at the end to try to move as much inventory as possible, free up some space. And to that end, they just plummet the prices. And I went to this sale last year and I ended up with a gigantic stack of comic books at a ludicrously good price. So I had a pretty good suspicion that the same thing would happen this year. And well, yeah, I ended up with a pretty big stack of comic books. This is nothing. I had friends walking out of there with, several short boxes full of comics. I know I just said I had a New Year's resolution of cutting down on the quantity of books I get, but technically at the time of filming this, it's still 2023, so too bad. I got a whole bunch of stack of comic books. I'm pretty happy to show them to you, and more importantly, tell you how much I paid for them. But before I do, you guys know the drill. If you like this sort of stuff and you want to support the channel, head on down, like, comment, and subscribe. And of course, follow me on Instagram under Lunch Money Comics IG. So first up, I actually want to show you a couple of gifts that I received. Like I said, this is my local comic book store, and I knew a ton of people that were in there. I was definitely hunting for comics surrounded by friends. Well, 2 of those friends gave me a gift, and coincidentally, they're both named Josh. So the first one is Josh from Vermont, whose comic selling venture is called Sasquatch Comics. He was there hunting for comics with his young daughter, Lily, who happens to be a fan of the channel. So huge shout out to Lily. But Josh gave me this t-shirt, which is his logo of Sasquatch Comics. And on the back just happens to be one of the greatest taglines I've ever seen. Sasquatch believes in you. Thought that was absolutely awesome. So Josh, thank you so much for this. The other gift was actually left by my friend Josh, the other Josh in Western Massachusetts, who couldn't make it that day. So he put this behind the counter for me. And it's this. This is an X-Men handheld video game from originally the 90s, where you played as Cyclops and Wolverine. You got to fight against, Juggernaut and stuff. And I had this game as a kid. But this isn't actually from back then. This is actually a remake from 2020. Tiger put these ones out, but it's the exact same thing. And this is fantastic, guys. I had this as a kid. I played it to death. I completely forgot about it till I saw this. Brought all the memories back. And as much as I want to play it, I kind of rather keep it in the card. I think it looks fantastic. So, Josh, other Josh, thank you so much. Too bad I couldn't see you, but I really appreciate this. Now's the eternal struggle of whether or not I open it or not. Let me know down in the comments if I should crack it open and play it. So first up, I want to show you all the books I got for $1. So everything in the store was heavily discounted, but you guys saw in the footage, there were a ton of boxes put out there. Everything was $1. Basically, if it wasn't priced, it was $1. And there were some ridiculous comic books coming out of there. My buddy Matt pulled out the first appearance of Psylocke, New Mutants Annual number 2. You know, it's like a $30 book, just hanging out in there. And there were some really good ones to be found. And I definitely got some ones I'm pretty proud to have dug out. Let's start with this. I gotta go through them quick because there's a lot of them. We have Ghost Rider number 31, the first appearance of the team, the Midnight Suns. Pretty cool book to pick up for $1. Next up, we have an Alan Moore Swamp Thing, number 52. Really cool Steve Bissette cover showing Swamp Thing as the Arkham Asylum. You see Joker right there behind bars. I've been really into the Alan Moore Swamp Thing. Had to pick this book up. I don't know why I grabbed this, just was feeling it at the time. This is Marvel Zombies number 1. This is part of the Secret Wars 2015 storyline. They're in Battle World. If you like Marvel Zombies, pretty cool book to have. Next up, this is kind of a silly book. We have West Coast Avengers number 46. This is the first appearance of the Great Lakes Avengers and the character of Mr. Immortal. Mr. Immortal was actually on the She-Hulk television show in one of the episodes. They're sort of a joke team, although very notably, they have their biggest member, of course, is Squirrel Girl. Most people know nowadays, although she wasn't on the team when they first started. Now we have a whole stack of Spider-Man books. I love Spider-Man. There were a ton of dollar books. And like I said, I could have walked out of there with a long box of books, but I had to stop somewhere, guys. So these are just the Spider-Man books I grabbed. First up, pretty good one. Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 22. It's from 1988, and this is known as the first appearance of this character, Speedball. Speedball was a longtime member of the superhero team, the New Warriors. Yeah, he's sort of a happy-go-lucky, plucky guy, although very notably in the Civil War storyline, some rather bad things happen to the New Warriors, and he takes a decidedly evil turn and becomes a character of penance. But still, pretty cool character. Happy to get his first appearance. I pick this book up whenever I find it. Happy to get it for $1. This one I got quite simply because it's an homage to Amazing Spider-Man number 50, which I have back there. This is ASM number 392. Thought it was cool. Now we get some books from the 90s. This is when I was collecting, guys. I was really into Spider-Man. There were a lot of famous artists working on the Spider-Man titles back then. And these are just the ones I grabbed. So this is Spider-Man Special Edition number 1. This is a Jim Craig cover. Absolutely. You see Spider-Man and Daredevil fighting. That's very Jim Craig Venom right there. Next up, we have the Deadly Foes of Spider-Man number 1. This is a special series of, hold on a second. Hey, look at that. There's 2 copies of it in there stuck together. I think I owe His and Her Comics $1 more, it looks like. But yeah, these Deadly Foes of Spider-Man. You see some, B-list villains on there. Pretty neat. Next up, I have a whole bunch of issues of the Maximum Carnage storyline. This is a pretty big storyline when I was a kid. It came out in 1993, where Carnage, who was a relatively new character at the time, comes up with a whole supervillain team, wreaks havoc on New York, and Spider-Man and all the superheroes have to go up against him. I've been trying to finish this run. I only have a few from when I was a kid, so I just grabbed as many as I could. Lots of famous Spider-Man artists worked on this from the early 90s. So we have Maximum Carnage Part 14. This is Spider-Man number 35. Like I said, these crossed all the different Spider-Man titles, right? So this is the Spider-Man title. Then this was the Amazing Spider-Man title, number 379. This is Part 7 of the storyline. You see a lot of the players right there on the cover, along with Deathlock. Pretty cool. Here's a great cover. This is the Amazing Spider-Man number 380. This is Part 11 of the story. Next up, we have it's a Tom Lyle cover, absolutely. This is Spider-Man number 37. Pretty cool. That's number 12 of the 14-part series. And finally, we have the final part of the Maximum Carnage storyline is in Spider-Man Unlimited number 2. Spider-Man Unlimited number 1 actually started the whole story off. This is a Ron Lim cover, absolutely. Very cool Spider-Man artist right there. Had to get these books, guys. Next up, we have a whole bunch of sort of X-Men themed books. You guys know I love X-Men. Starting with this. This is the Xcalibur Special Edition, written by Chris Claremont, art by Davis and Neary. This is the first appearance of the superhero team Xcalibur. Team I love also. We got, my boy Nightcrawler right there. Speaking of Nightcrawler, I also got this one. This is Xcalibur number 16, with Nightcrawler sort of looking like Conan the Barbarian or some sort of like fantasy hero. Had to pick it up. Next up, we have Excalibur number 71. I got this quite simply because there's a hologram on it of Nightcrawler. He's my favorite, and I don't know if you guys see him, but had to get it. Now we have a whole bunch of minor first appearances of X-Men characters. Let's go through them quick. We have New Mutants number 16, first appearance of the second Thunderbird, later known as Warpath. Then we have New Mutants number 29, first appearance of Strong Guy. Then we have New Mutants number 87, second print, first appearance of the character of Cable. Not in the best shape, but always fun to pick up for $1. And next up, you guys know when you find one of those books, you just keep finding it right afterwards. I don't know why this book, I just keep finding copies in the last couple weeks or so, but it's this. This is X-Man number 1, first appearance of Nate Gray, and I talked about it very recently on my channel. Nate Gray and Cable are basically genetically identical from 2 different dystopian future timelines, but pretty cool to get them side by side. I have all those books. I like to get these to give to people or have giveaways or anything like that, so that's why I have multiple copies. The same is true of these next comic books here. Another storyline I've been trying to get a whole copy of is the Phalanx Covenant. This was a storyline from 1994 involving all the X-Men titles where they're going up against the techno-organic alien Phalanx. So what's notable about a lot of these is that they featured the first appearance of a X-Men character that would appear in the Generation X storyline, and they're usually on the cover. So here we have Uncanny X-Men number 316, first appearance of Monet St. Croix, also known as M, actually also known as Penance. Different Penance than Speedball, but whatever. First appearance of M right there. And then we have X-Men number 36, first appearance of Sync. Then we have Uncanny X-Men number 317, first appearance of Skin. And then we have X-Men number 37, first appearance of Husk. All 4 of those characters were on the Generation X team. And then, like I said, across all the X platforms, we have X Factor number 106. Not a first appearance, you got Forge on the cover. So that's it for all the dollar books, guys. I think I only got 25 of them. Like I said, I could have gone crazy. But now let me show you all the books that I got for slightly more than $1. So for all the rest of these books, I had to keep the price tag on the back, and I'm gonna have to do some math to figure out how much I paid for them. They were all pretty cheap. And these first 3 I actually got out of a box that was on the counter. That box has been there for actually several months at His and Hers. They got a collection in a while back full of Bronze Age horror books, and I go through it every time I go to the store. There's so many titles in there I wanted. I decided I'd wait for the sale, and that's what I did. And this is the first one I picked up. This is Where Monsters Dwell number 3. I love these Bronze Age sci-fi and horror titles. I love the cover, the monster called Grotu. It was $2.50 with the sale. No brainer, guys. Had to get it. And the next 2 are Tomb of Dracula. So we have Tomb of Dracula number 44. This is the first meetup and battle between Dracula and Doctor Strange. Pretty darn cool. Cost me $6. And this one is Tomb of Dracula number 70. This is the final issue in the first run. It actually features the death of Dracula. And this one actually cost me $3.50. Totally happy to pick up this book. It's also in really great condition. So I always love Tomb of Dracula, guys. Got to get them when you can find them cheap. Next up, we have 3 Avengers books. Here's one. It's more of a modern book. Everyone knows what this is. I pick it up every time I can find it cheap. This is the New Avengers number 7 is part of the Sentry storyline. Actually, it's the first part, but it's more commonly known as the first appearance of the team, the Illuminati, which is made up of all the smartest people in the Marvel Universe. And if you watch Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, you saw an iteration of that team. Again, if I find this book cheap, I pick it up. It was $9. Totally happy to pick it up for that price. Next up, we have the Avengers number 257, first appearance of Nebula, who everyone knows from the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. I've had several copies of this book in the past. This one cost me $17, very high grade. Happy to get it for that price. And last, one of my favorite Avengers covers ever, Avengers number 144, first appearance of Patsy Walker as Hellcat. I've owned this book in the past, a much lower grade. Happy to get this one for $9. Totally worth picking this up for $9. What a steal for this book. Happy with that. So the last 3 are sort of the 3 big books. None of these, honestly, need any introduction whatsoever. Certainly not this one. Here we have Wolverine Limited Series number 1 by Frank Miller. Everyone knows this cover. Originally, this was priced at like $50 because there's a little bit of staining up here in the trade dress. I'm fine with that. With the discount, I got it for $35. Happy to pick this up for $35. Absolutely. And I might swing it over to my buddy Jeff at Comic Spa to see if he can clean this up a little bit. Awesome deal for $35. All right, so this next one, guys, I say it all the time on my channel. I'm not really into like speculation on comics, people who are like speculating on movies and TV shows. I think it's kind of a lost cause. But this book right here, even I couldn't avoid, the hype around this book. It's been on every top 10 list all year. And I didn't want to buy this book, but I'll explain to you why in a second why I did. It's this. Omega Men 3, first appearance of the character of Lobo. People have been speculating that in James Gunn's new DCU that Lobo would be a part of it, maybe even played by Jason Momoa after he hangs up, the Aquaman tights, what have you. I seriously doubt any of that's going to happen. I didn't actually want this book originally. It wasn't in my final pile. However, when we were adding it all up, because I had been looking at it, the owner Nishan said, hey, if you round up a little bit, I'll throw it in. I said, sure. I ended up getting this for about $40, and it is in incredibly good shape. In fact, the condition is the only reason I was really looking at it. It's incredibly squeaky clean. For $40, that's right in my wheelhouse of what I'd want to pay for this book. And I needed more DC in the pile for you DC lovers out there. So first appearance of Lobo, guys, not bad. But this last one, definitely the highlight of what I picked up, guys. Everyone knows what this book is. One of my favorite Silver Age covers, actually one of my favorite covers ever. It is the Avengers number 57. First appearance of the Vision. Famous John Buscema red cover. Everyone knows this cover. I love this cover. It affects me every single time. I actually own a graded copy behind me. But despite what you see behind me, I always say this, I don't love graded books. I've always wanted a raw copy of this book. It's not in the best shape. It does have a huge subscription crease going down the middle. There's a little bit of kind of like color lift right here. That's fine, guys. You can find this book at a great price. It's always great adding it to your collection. And here's the thing. This one with the discount ended up costing me 40-something bucks. For real. Absolutely worth picking up for $40 and change, whatever it was. Pretty awesome capstone to the entire day. So all told, I can't even grab the ones on the floor. I'll just hold these up. All told, all the books you see here, plus all those dollar books you saw, cost me a grand total of $200. $200 even. Very happy to pay for that, guys. I mean, these three right here, I think is worth more than $200. And I'm always happy, of course, to support my local comic book store. So head on down to the comments, guys. Let me know which of my pickups you like the best. Let me know what you think of the price that I paid for all of them. And that's it, guys. Keep hunting for comic books in strange and unusual places. Always support your local comic book stores. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.